Hey guys, so here it is, the most efficient tool in anyone's toolbox. Can you guess what it is? Well, it's a thread file. What is a thread file? Well, the best way to describe it is to show you. What is this? This is a bolt. What is it for? Well, fastening things together. Duh. Right? Well, here's what happens. You're working on something and something bad happens, right? Maybe you get some weld spatter on the threads because you're doing a weld repair nearby and you get some boogers in the threads, or well, anything happens. My favorite one is when you're trying to beat a brake rotor off of a car that's been on there for 15 years and it's rusted to the hub and it just doesn't want to come off, and you get some pretty good hammer strikes. And then the rotor breaks into pieces. And then you've got to hit it even closer to the studs to the point where you accidentally hit the threads on one of the wheel studs. What do? Well, you could get the proper sized die and run it over the threads, clean them up, and you're good to go. There's a problem though. Who has a tap and die set for every doggone thing that you might run into? Well, this is at least part of the solution. Is you don't have to have a die set to fix your threads. Now this is not a die in any way, so it's not going to work as well for you, but it definitely gets it fixed in a pinch. So here's a simulated piece of damage right here, a hammer strike, and as you can see, it goes on pretty hard. Now it's kind of tight, so you don't necessarily, sometimes you'll just run that thing down and the hell with it, but in this case I find it's just as quick to pull out the thread file. So the way I match them up is I sort of look down the barrel and I find one, and let's see. It's hard to do on camera. Anyway, you can find the side that matches, and it's going to be this one. You can just see that the threads cut into the file, match the threads on the bolt, and you just run it across. And it takes a little time. And it's best to do in a vise, in my experience. You put it in a vise. If you don't have one, you don't need one. It just takes a little more time and a little more effort. Kind of like this. And you can see all the material coming off of there. That's the bent down threads. Oops, knocked the camera over. Let's try that again. So, some of you might be saying, well, just get another fastener. You know, that one's wrecked. See, here's the thing though. Look at that. Almost done. The issue with that is, and many of you have had this situation happen, it's, you know, your own personal vehicle, you got to be to work in the morning, and you just screwed something up, and everything's closed, and you don't have the fastener available. Or it's like in another situation, well, let's put this aside. You get the picture there. That works every time. Honda seems to do this a lot. The bolt, these are bell housing bolts or starter bolts or whatever, big heavy duty carriage bolts or whatever you call them. And you'll be pulling them out and they just get real tight, and then boom, it's pulled some threads out. So, not sure why this happens, but I generally am able to fix it with a thread file. Now, I'm not going to do this on camera because it takes forever. Use a combination of the wire wheel and the thread file, but I'll just do a quick demonstration. There. You can see where it's already starting to take the aluminum out. This does take a while, and a die would work better. But you see, think about this. There are 4 sides on each end. All right. There's 1.75, 1.75, 2, 3, 2.25. 1.5. Okay. Anyway, you get the picture. You have 8 different thread pitches on this file. Think about how many tools that replaces. That's why this thing's so doggone efficient. Is that you can clean up some threads. Sometimes, you know, it just takes a couple strokes and it just cuts straight through it. The main thing is being able to put some force into it. You know, being able to put the bolt in a vise or whatever, and you're good to go. So, you know, just as an example, if I had to replace this bolt, maybe I could find one at a bolt supplier. I'd have to drive across town, you know, and go through all these shenanigans to try to find the right length one, or, you know, sometimes it's kind of specialized. All right, Donner, I'll let you out. Jeez. Trying to film a video here. So, what ends up happening is you waste a whole bunch of time when there's really nothing wrong with it, and, you know, most efficient tool in the toolbox right here. It's my favorite tool, and in fact, until I started doing these videos, I never really thought about it. I just took them for granted. I actually have 3 of these things, exactly the same. But thanks for watching. Have a nice day.